How's it going, Fernando and Todd of Halos in the Infield? What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the great series that took place against the Twins. It was a close one. And we're going to talk about what's on deck against the Philadelphia Phillies and our old boy, Brandon Marsh. All that and much more up next.
Hey, you are now listening or watching the Halos in the Infield podcast, sponsored in part by Noble L Works over on 1621 South Sinclair, where you can get discounts by just mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield, drink discounts on us, baby. And also by 714 Tickets. The price you see is the price you get, and you also get 10% additionally off in the Apply Now code once you order your tickets just by mentioning HITI, Halos in the Infield. Now enjoy the show. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at. It is Halos in the Infield. This is Todd Fox along with the co-host of the show,
The Lone Star Halo.
Yes, sir. And we are talking to you about Angels baseball. That's what we do here. If you can give a like and subscribe, that would really help out, or tell a friend. But with that being said, I was once told, Fernando, it's not good to look back at the past. And sometimes it's true for a lot of things, and sometimes it's not, because we can learn from our mistakes in the past. But this is truly one series, Fernando, I would like to not look back on. But unfortunately, that's what we're doing.
Well, and I was taught that if you had nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. But then we wouldn't have a podcast now, would we?
I lobbed it up there and you slammed it down. I love it. But yeah, we're going to talk about that embarrassing series sweep by the Minnesota Twins. And before we get started, because I know you have some points you want to hit on, and we'll hit it game by game, but the Chicago White Sox and the Angels were given to the Twins as sacrificial lambs, as it looks like, for 10 games. Chicago gave, the Twins swept the Chicago White Sox for 4. They swept us here in Anaheim, and now they have 3 more with the White Sox again, who are currently 6-22. And before the Twins got that cupcake part of their schedule, they were 7-13, scuffling. Now look at them.
Yeah. Now, you and Rob had mentioned it on the second Friday episode that came out, because I guess we do that now. We're going to do 3 episodes today. 2, why not?
Well, Halo Joe didn't have a video, so that's what that was for. Yeah,
that's fair. Well, Rob had said that he believes that we had one of the toughest schedules in baseball to start off. And, to an extent, that's fair. We've gotten the Orioles. We got the Rays, we got the Orioles, we got the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Twins who got hot right in time to face us. So we haven't had a lot of easy games yet to start.
Red Sox.
Yeah, and the Red Sox were a team that was supposed to be easy, right? They're projected to be the worst team of their division. And they've been putting up a decent fight so far.
Winning record.
Yeah, they just cream pied the Cubs.
Yeah, they beat them by 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, exactly. The Bears beat the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Patriots beat the Bears.
Sorry. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's all good. But no, I get you. This schedule was going to be rough. I just think, though, Fernando, with this series, nothing went right. I brought out on the post-game show that, if there's been games where we've only had like 2 or 3 quality games where we won from start to finish, played every facet pretty good. It was meant for us to win those games. And then there was some games where we either pitched and we couldn't hit, or we hit and we couldn't pitch. And it either cost us, or we either somehow skated through by the skin of our teeth. This entire series, Fernando, was just a failure defensively, hitting, pitching, bullpen, everything.
Honestly, it's just been a rough homestand for the Angels. And really, if you think back to their last 10, they've lost 9 games. Mm-hmm. So right now, there's nothing going right now. And it's hard to put too much of this on Ron Washington. I'm not willing to do that yet. I know during the post-game shows, from what I have heard, some people are already asking, like, hey, who's our next manager going to be? I think it's a little too early for that kind of stuff. I think Ron Washington is going to ride out his 2 years. We could not win another game during the next 2 years. It would just be smart for the organization to just let him write it out. We didn't bring Ron Washington on because we expected to win. We brought him on because we know what his track record's been in terms of developing guys. You know, if we're being directly honest with ourselves, this team probably won't be contending for about 3 to 4 years. So, you know, that's why you brought Ron Washington on, to help these young guys truly start to build a foundation, because maybe the foundational pieces are there of a core rebuild, a young core. But, I mean, these guys are looking overmatched as well. Nolan Shanuel's looked a little bit better over the last 2 weeks. But besides that, you know, a lot of these guys looking at Hoppy's looked good, but Neto's struggling. He's scuffling for sure. Detmers didn't look as sharp today. Who knows if he's starting to slowly maybe come down to earth. I'm not ready to say that just yet. But there's not a lot of bright spots, like you said.
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, you look at Brandon Drury. Brandon Drury's playing on a sore hip. And he's not complaining. He's keeping the same stone face, but he's not producing. You know, he's also a defensive liability. And we had a comment in the postgame show that said, you know, is Anthony Rendon the glue to the team keeping it together? Because, you know, the brief periods he's been healthy, whether it was this year or last year, the Angels are kind of good. And after that, they've gone downhill. And then it doesn't help that his replacement, Sano, is dealing with a knee issue. And then your defense has been so poor. Like we saw it with a bad track to the ball and a drop ball last night by Taylor Ward. Today I saw one in the fourth inning or fifth inning when they scored a line drive where Bruxton hadn't even touched third and was already in Ward's glove. I'm like, throw it home, and he pump fakes and then just casually throws the ball into second. I'm like, what the hell is that? Do you not have an arm anymore? And then Adele, I mean, where do we start and end with Adele? He's, you know, running right for Trout, scares Trout. We get pegged with the ball. He lets another one go between his legs last night. And then today, same thing, lets one drop in no man's land when he should have made it tumbling catch.
He's starting to look a little bit better with the bat, which is the one good thing. I mean, I don't know, man. This guy might just be a DH. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He really is a defensive liability. When you look up defensive liability, it is Joe Adele. And it's tough because his defense is also very 4A. He goes down to Salt Lake, and his defense looks pretty decent overall. Mm-hmm. And then he comes up here, and the guy's a circus act.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. I think me and you talked in the offseason, and we were thinking, you know, if we play Adele in right field, it's probably better for him. Shorter field, you know, the wall. If it hits off the top of the wall, it's a home run. There's really not too much, you know, difficulty in right field, at least at Anaheim Stadium. He seemed, you know, we were thinking maybe he had more trouble in left field, but man, he's making more errors in right, bro. It's almost like he regressed.
I wonder if they should have turned this guy into a first baseman a long time ago. And before any of you guys are like, oh, no, Fernando, he's too athletic to be a first baseman. We've seen some athletic first basemen lately. Correct. With this new generation of guys. So, I mean, you don't have to do anything at first base. Just stand there and catch the ball. You know, I'm sure you can catch a ball from inside the infield. Picking, who knows? But, I mean, it's not like Shanuel's been amazing with his picks lately either.
True.
So, oof.
Yeah, he's been like Shanuel. We're not asking him to be great, you know, just serviceable. Yeah. And his bats are at least coming through a little bit, but you know, there's just a lot of holes, and you know, just this was an embarrassment on so many levels. I mean, they were outscored 32-13.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's just the good news here is I definitely think that where we stand, there's some guys here on this team that can be good pieces come to trade deadline. Because honestly, bro, it's time to tear it down. It really is. We've been saying that. And for anyone who's like, oh, no, we're in the middle of a rebuild, we are not. It is time to tear it down to the absolute. Get rid of Ward. Get rid of Detmers. Not because any of these guys are necessarily bad, but I don't think any of them are part of the long-term plan here. You know, the max any of these guys have is 2 or 3 years. Ward's got 1 more year after this year. Detmers, I think, has 2 more years. So trade these guys, get some pieces back, and let's really just go all in on a rebuild. We're not going to be good for 2 or 3 years anyway. Let's just embrace it. I mean, can it get worse? You know what I mean? We're already losing in spectacular fashion. At least I can understand and go all in mentally on a rebuild.
Yeah, I can too. I mean, if we, like I said, we've been asking for that wonderful word called direction. You know, give us something, but we haven't gotten it. And one other thing I want to hit on before we move on to the next topic you got, Fernando, and that is, we make people famous. We make other players that, had careers before, slump busters. That's what we are, and keep in mind in this series, before this series, Carlos Santana, he's had a pretty good career. He's 38 years old, but he hasn't really done
38
much.
years young after playing the Angels.
Yeah, fountain of youth. No, but he hasn't been good since I think age 34, maybe even 33. So he's been in a downward spiral. He's been on several different teams. He took a minor league deal with the Twins. He got off to a rough start. He only had 5 hits coming into this series. He leaves, he had 1 home run, 4 RBIs, batting 130. He leaves Anaheim almost batting 200 with 6 hits, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs. I mean, Go figure, bro.
We're the Kanye West of MLB. Why? Because we made that bitch famous.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a few guys, I mean, that just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and then they come to Anaheim, and it's like, hey, well, he took us deep again. Like, what?
Yeah, right. Like, freaking can't hit water. They fell off a boat. Yet they come here, and all of a sudden, welcome Barry Bonds up to the plate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Santana's home run the other night was a moonshot. I know that's a cliche, but that sucker felt like it touched the imaginary 600 level and came back down. I mean,
it hit the Halo Honk section where I'll be sitting with all of my favorite Halo Honks.
Hey, Fernando, I would have caught that had I brought my blind date glove, but I was too busy hooking couples up in the 600 level to catch that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the next topic, man?
Well, real quick, I want to bring up Jose Suarez and where you are on the guy that you thought was going to be the 2023 comeback play of the year. Where are you realistically on Jose Suarez? This guy's been apparently, the janitor of the squad. That's what he's in the bullpen to do.
Right. He
is SpongeBob during that episode when they were like throwing tomatoes at him and Squidward, and he would show his hand and everybody would cheer. Well, he's Squidward. When he comes out, everybody boos. Throws tomatoes.
No, I get you on that one. I mean, I'm still regretting those words to this day. Obviously, it's brought up by the fans. It's brought up on here, wherever. And you know what? I regret saying that because apparently Ron Washington watches our stuff because he's like, well, he's the best arm available at the time. Sam Blum had that thing where he's like, oh, I'm going to run him out there as much as we can until he gets it right. Bro, he's got like an 11 ERA, man. It's time to cut the cord. I've admitted to my mistakes in having faith in the left-handed Bartolo Colon. He can't touch that dude. I mean, his fastballs are no fastballs. Everything's down the middle. And when he is trying to fool people on an out pitch, like a slider down and in or off the plate against a lefty, no one's biting on it. So, I mean, he's not fooling anybody.
Absolutely not. And like here, all respect to Jose Suarez. I like Jose Suarez, the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love his energy. Whenever they do those little interviews, those little TikToks, he always looks like he's having a good time. I love Jose Suarez, the personality, but I don't know what it is. I just don't think he's got it. I really don't. And a lot of us were saying for the longest time, oh, he's going to go to a different organization. He's going to figure it out. I don't think so anymore. And the other thing, man, this bullpen is slowly starting to fall apart. The bullpen was really the only thing for a while holding, this team together at all.
Yeah.
And even that's starting to have issues.
Yeah, because you were seeing like these guys giving us at least 5 or 6, and then they throw it over the bullpen. They were getting clean innings, and the games were okay. And, like we were either holding on or we would give up a tie or just it was close. But, yeah, I mean, there's several times I get comments about, hey, why isn't this guy being called up? We got this guy. He's got this, these numbers down in Rocket City or in Salt Lake. We could use him. And then we bring up a guy I've never even heard of, throw him out there today, pitches 2 innings.
Crystal Falk?
Yeah, I was just like, I couldn't say his name. I was like Artie trying to say it.
Chris Kringle?
Yeah.
It's
the Special K guy.
Yeah. It's the Circle K guy.
Yeah.
Circle K is where I get my tequila. Unfinished business.
Yeah, Mr. Unfinished Business couldn't even pronounce his name. So it was tough, man. And I don't know where this.
No, there's no way Artie. Real quick, speaking of Artie, do you think Artie can name 10 guys on this roster? He can name Trout and probably Rendon. Realistically, do you think he can name 8 other guys?
I'm pretty sure, and it would only because he's paying him over $1 million. I don't think he can remember any of the names under $1 million. So if it's like
there's no way he knows Zach Christophock.
Nah, he has no idea.
Do you think he knows Logan O'Hoppe?
Because of the bobblehead, yes.
Oh yeah, that came out of his paycheck.
Yeah, if it deals with like significant money, I think he doesn't know who that Andrizlia guy is. I don't think he knows who Sano is. Cisnero, yeah, guys like that. He's like, if they walk by him, he's like, "Oh yeah, we need more help in the hot dog section." Yeah. Like, no, I pitched for you guys.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, okay." I mean, the guy does get lost in his own stadium.
Yeah,
my buddy has to give him directions before.
Hey, where's the bathroom?
Yeah, you're looking at it, sir. It's right there.
Anywhere.
Can you walk me over across the street?
I'll give you a merit badge.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, as far as the Suarez thing, dude, it's like it's Ben time. We got to cut this guy.
Okay. We've already kind of talked about it, but you and I haven't had to yet. Aaron Hicks, time to cut him too.
Yeah,
he had a bad defensive game.
Yeah, he's been bad, and again, he had 3 more strikeouts tonight, so another hat trick. It's just
who was the Nacho today? I didn't watch today's show.
Nacho, I believe I gave it to was it Luis Garcia, because
5 runs?
Yeah, because I felt bad because he came in there and he had 5 good appearances in a row where he hadn't allowed anything, and but this time was not the case. He was all over the place.
Oh, that's how the Angels pitching works, right? You start to believe in these guys, like, hey, you know what? Because I mean, we had said it. I've heard it on this network many times. Like over the last 2 or 3 games, we've been like, hey, Luis Garcia is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
You start to trust him, and boom, that's what happens.
Yep.
Matt Morris still looks okay. Simber is starting to settle down a little bit because he did have a little bit of a hiccup. Like 3 outings ago?
Yeah, up there in Cincinnati, he got creamed pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's I'm trying to think who else is doing okay right now out of the bullpen. That's really about it. Simber, Matt Moore, Luis Garcia was on that list.
Yeah. Fulmer was doing good until he got low.
Oh, yeah. Before he got shelled. That was this series, right?
That was yesterday. Yeah.
That was yesterday. There you go. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot going wrong. And right now, it's just hard to tell, like, how much of it can you blame on the personnel?
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called talent. They don't have it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, we were complaining about this from the start. I mean, again, we got another one on X where this guy's like, you can't knock an owner who's spending money and who's spent the most money and blah, 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 money, money, money. It's like, well, you said it, I've said it, everyone said it on this network. It's not how much you spend, it's how you spend it. If that were the case, an owner like the Dallas Cowboys would have more Super Bowls. If that were the case, the Yankees would have more World Series. Same thing with the Dodgers. Go on and go on and go on. It's how you spend it. If
Absolutely.
You get the right team together, you don't need a huge payroll to win.
Well, and even when you do spend the right amount of money, it's hard to win because, I mean, look at the Dodgers. We hate the Dodgers, and I hate giving them credit, but, I mean, you have to give them credit where the credit is due. They develop properly. Mm-hmm. They invest in the proper channels. Their minor leagues are consistently one of the best out there. They have some of the best facilities. They don't overspend on contracts. So take out the Ohtani contract. The Angels have spent more on free agents than the Dodgers have. I mean, Mookie Betts doesn't get paid that much.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman.
I think he's in the 20s. And same with Freddie Freeman. He's in their 20s also. I don't think they've ever had a single player they paid $30 million a year.
They would have if Puig turned into the Trout like they thought he
was. Probably. Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
Let's go through some of these batting average numbers real quick for today's lineup.
Go for it.
Trout's batting. You should play that.
Let me cue that up real quick, and I'll give you the go. So we can, because that is a good call right there. Let's see. Here we go. 1, 2, and you'll hear it right about now.
Leading off, 226. Woo-hoo-hoo. Zach Neto, batting second, batting 213. Taylor Ward, third, batting 265. He might be an all-star. Brandon Drury, batting 167. Brandon ain't going anywhere besides the bathroom. Aaron Hicks, batting 140. This man isn't even batting his weight. Or his wife's weight. Oh, Logan O'Hoppy, 293. He doesn't deserve the song, but we're going to give it him anyway because he's in this horrible batting lineup. Then we got Joe Adell. Joe Adell's not looking too bad out there. He is batting 327. But ask us about his defense, huh? All right. Luis Rengifo's been hot and cold, but as of right now, he is warming up there a little bit. He's batting 289. And though Nolan Shanuel is heating up, he's batting 228.
And that's your Angels lineup.
Yeah, the thing is, you got three guys that are batting over 250, right?
Yeah.
You got Ward, you got O'Hoppy, and I'm not going to count Adele on there just yet because he hasn't had the plate appearances to, qualify. But he's good right now with the bat. Shanuel, man, he's starting to worry me. I know he's heating up a bit. His on-base percentage is still great. Nobody can ever say anything bad about him in terms of that. But, I think he was in such a big hole.
Yeah.
He's batting 360 right now over his last 7. So,
and you want to talk about inconsistencies with his team, it just it continues over and over where we've said it many times. If you can keep it under 10 strikeouts a game, if you can have it 9 and under, keep it away from the double digits, usually the Angels succeed and they could get some hits with runners in scoring position. Just put contact and sometimes things happen. I will say this to their credit though. They have smashed the ball hard a lot. I've been at several games so far where they're hitting the ball squared up sometimes. It'll just be right at a freaking infielder. I've seen Trout do it like 4 or 5 times already. And I've seen, Ward and other guys, especially Drury, like the ball the other day where he hit a rocket up the middle. And if the second baseman's not playing up the middle, that's easily a hit. It even takes a bad hop off the damn, the mound, and still goes to the infielder. The infielder makes a nice play. So it's like some guys just aren't getting the luck. They are also striking out way too much. And when you're not getting on base, you're not pressuring consistently, you find yourself having to change your strategy by the time the 6th inning rolls around. And how the Angels have been playing lately, they're down 4 or 5 by that time.
Yeah, and the good news is some of the key guys here didn't strike out at all today. I mean, Trout didn't strike out. O'Hoppy didn't strike out. Shanuel only struck out once. Drury is making solid contact. He just had a lot of bad luck lately. But, Neto striking out 3 times. Hicks, you already mentioned his 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you want about Adele lately, but, he struck out twice also. This was a lineup that struck out 14 of the 27 outs today.
Correct. It's more than half. That's not a good percentage. And
it's not, man.
You just can't win like that. You got to put the bat on the ball and see what happens. And what else happened today, which is, we wish it would have happened the first couple of games, a few games before that. Trout has had 5 game-winning or tying situations this year. He's been 0 for 5. And today, he had an opportunity to get an RBI without a home run, and he ShamWowed us. He actually got a single with, scoring an RBI via the home run, which is odd for him. He's up to 14 RBIs.
It's like George Knox and Angels after he's like, we won. We didn't win, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like that. Oh, he came through, dude. All I can tell you is I'm super excited. If all goes well, this time next week, I'm going to be sitting in Pittsburgh waiting to watch the Angels play at PNC Park. Wow, this team is so hot right now. I can't wait to see them get clapped by the Ohio shitfucks and by Pittsburgh.
It just goes to show you how much the universe hates us and you as well as you travel to see different stadiums. As that would get you up to 20, right? With those two,
that'll get me up to 19. But this year, I need to go to Houston to make it 20. By the way, I know you're probably not going to come this month, but if any of you guys are going to be here, the Angels will be here in Arlington I think 17th, 18th, 19th of May. So if anyone's going to be here that Friday, Saturday, or Sunday in Arlington, let me know. I think I might go Saturday.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, but
you got to come at least this year. If you can't come in May, you got to come in September or come for the All-Star game.
I'll be there. Trust me. I'll be there for the series in September for sure.
Okay. All right.
When we're about 50 games out of first place.
Hey, even better.
But what I want to say though is it just so happens that you're going to go to Pittsburgh in Ohio, which usually aren't good baseball teams, and you're going to have Ohio with having like I think the best record in the American League, and then the Pirates who are holding their own in second place over there in Pittsburgh. So,
dude, I hope I get to see Olivia Dunn's boyfriend page. Is he still with the Major League Club?
I don't know.
Guy with the mustache, forgot his name.
But it's going to be a challenging series when you go up there. It'll be for the experience.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this will get me up to 19, and if I do get to go to Houston, that'll get me to 20 this year. I think that puts me in a very good spot.
Yeah,
baseball stadiums, and I'm going to be 30 come next season. So
you're coming down the home stretch. So
yeah, exactly.
I like
the
that.
problem is, like after this, like there's really no kind of cohesion left on the path. The Cincinnati Reds are going to be in town. And I told my friends, like, hey, why don't we go to Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can, that way I never have to go back to Ohio again in my life. But they want to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean,
come on.
I don't really like football, so I'm kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I could go without that if I were them. Like there's what are you going to just look at a lot of bronze statues that don't look like the actual players?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's the football that Peyton Manning passed when he,
no, because
passing record.
It's going to be like, no, oh look, there's Peyton Manning's his face right there. No, that's O.J. Simpson. Oh, they look alike.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, it's Peyton Manning's mouthpiece from the Super Bowl. Great.
Yeah, all right.
Is that Walter Payton's jock strap?
So
you get a whole Vince Lombardi's hat for $10.
Yeah, no kidding, right? That would actually be cool though. If it was only $10, I might just have to do that.
That's fair.
What's going on out
here? I'm just saying about holding your hat, Lombardi. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Not your jock.
What's that?
Not your jock.
Yeah, exactly. He was scared about the jock thing there, but but man, oh man. Speaking of Philly, though, Philly is coming in kind of red hot. They've won 11 out of their last 13. They've won 4 straight. They just swept the Padres in San Diego. I think the chair was there for 2 of those games. They're 19-10, and their league leaders are right now Alec Boehm with a 365 average, Kyle Schwarber 200, Mendoza, but he's got 7 home runs, and also Boehm's got 26 RBIs. Phillies are rolling right now.
Yeah, but I think that James might be the bad luck.
Well, you know what? Don't tell him because he does think he is the bad luck, and I keep trying to talk him out of it.
Okay, that's fair. Hey, I mean, whatever. I mean, can the luck really get worse for this team, and what's going to happen? We're going to lose more? Great. I mean, get us a draft pick at this point. I think right now we have the 5th worst record in Major League Baseball.
Well, we've got a lot of season left to go, so we got to jump ahead of the Rockies.
We have a what? We have what?
We have a lot of season left, right, Raj?
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, exactly. There you go, Roger. I'll say this. I'm definitely excited to see a couple of these guys on the Phillies. Bryce Harper is not doing very hot. He's also batting 234.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Turner, though, wow, 340.
Yeah, they have some batting averages that are good and some that are like you raise an eyebrow, but they're still producing. And their bullpen is pretty good. Their starting pitching's getting a little bit better. So, a little rough start for them, but they seem to be playing a lot better lately.
What's your opinion on Brandon Marsh, dude? Batting 291.
It sucks. He's that like he's like the Jim Edmonds to me, the one that got away. He'll put in a close to Hall of Fame type career and, be one of these guys. Because Jim Edmonds, I think a lot of people think of him as a, borderline Hall of Famer. I don't think Marsh will do it with his home runs and RBIs, but maybe he'll be a nice career 280, 285 hitter, play for Philly for a long time, maybe win a title or two.
Look, I'll say this. Dave Dombrowski is notorious for tearing teams down, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Dave Dombrowski wants a guy he was a rookie at that point, right?
Yes.
That should tell you something.
Yeah.
You know, that guy's not normally going after rookies, right? That guy's going after guys who are, getting long in the tooth or like
Established.
Yeah, established guys. So he clearly, him or somebody in his front office clearly saw something. But he's doing great over there. And I understand people's mindset about, well, hey, that's a trade that's going to work out for both teams. Hey, I love Logan O'Hoppe, and we needed a catcher. But, I mean, I think we needed Brandon Marsh a little bit more than we needed a catcher. And before anyone calls me an idiot, I'm not talking about Max Stassi. We had Edgar Cuero. Go look at his numbers. He's not doing too bad with the White Sox. He's going to be somebody, too. So
yeah, I mean, there's always hindsight with all these, and I get the Cuero thing. Like I would have liked to see him playing with the Angels as well. It would have been a log jam. I get it with Dude and freaking O'Hoppe, but
but if you never made that trade, Cuero probably would have been your catcher. Maybe at the end of this year, next year. You would have had Brandon Marsh in the outfield right now. I mean, you could have had Ward, Trout, and Marsh as your outfield right now.
Yeah.
That's one of the better outfields in baseball.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's an up and coming one, or at least as far as what, Ward is at least coming through a lot this year. If you had Brandon Marsh out there, you wouldn't have those defensive hiccups, the guy is rock solid out there. So, yeah, I mean, there's always hindsight being what it is, but it's just been tough because it'll be the first time seeing him here come into Anaheim, and I'm pretty sure the Angel fans, they liked him while he was here. One of the nicest dudes. So, I mean, like, he should get a nice little ovation.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to play him a highlight reel of like 3 plays. Because, I mean, he wasn't here that long. Hey, no disrespect to Brandon. I like Brandon a lot. Got to watch him with the 66ers. Yeah, and I mean, I miss him. I don't know. Like, if I had the ability to take back that trade, I think I would, just because it means that Edgar Cuero would have been probably still here. But it's also tough because I really like Logan O'Hoppe. He's arguably my favorite player on the roster right now. So that's what's really tough. I mean, it would have been great if there's a timetable where we could have kept O'Hoppe or we could have kept Marsh and gotten O'Hoppe. I just don't know what could have been pulled off for that trade in particular.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just it is rough because I mean, like, we do have our catcher for a long run, but guys like that get away. It's I think it hits us harder as fans because we don't see these type of good players come through the system that could be potentially ours for such a long time. Let's just say, let's play devil's advocate, and O'Hoppe turns into that all-star catcher, right? And the same thing, let's say Moniak resurrects himself and he turns into a guy that's maybe like a 270 hitter, 14 to 15 homers a year, and he's consistently an outfielder for us, whether it's a 4 outfielder or a number 3 at some point. And these players play with us. It's great to have them and everything, but they weren't ours. They weren't our guys. They came via trade, and I think over the years we've lost a lot of players, sometimes holding on to ones too long. But we've lost out on some players that, we take pride in as Angel fans, knowing that we drafted them and they came through the system.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go through the probable pitchers real quick, shall we?
Let's do it.
So Christopher Sanchez going for the Phillies on Monday night. He's 1-3 with a 2.96 ERA and 28 strikeouts against Griffin Kennedy, who's also 1-3 with the 7.50 ERA and 20 strikeouts. I think we're both going to take the Phillies there.
If I had the Philly Fanatic slide to play, I'd do that. So give me the Phils.
Yeah, fair. I'll say the same thing. All right, game 2, which is Logan O'Hoppe bobblehead night. I think Logan O'Hoppe is going to have a great game. I'm calling 2 home runs that game.
Oh, wow, okay.
Spencer Turnbull. By the way, if anybody's going to be at the game and doesn't want their bobblehead, please let me know. I will buy it off of you. Spencer Turnbull, 2-0 with a 1.33 ERA and 30 strikeouts against Tyler Anderson, who's 2-3 with a 1.78 ERA and 21 strikeouts. That's going to be a great game. I'm hoping we get a pitcher's duel. I think the Angels win that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Angels in this one too. I like Tyler Anderson. He's not, again, even though he pitched very mediocre, that was a good mediocre. He still wound up pitching. Yeah, he still wound up leaving the Angels in the game and pitching 5 innings. So I like the Angels to pick him up finally because he's had 3 starts of no support. I'm looking for him to break that.
Well, I mean, we'll see if the team breaks that for him, right? All right, and finally on Wednesday, this is a day game, a getaway game. Yep. Zach Wheeler, 2-3 with the 1.93 ERA against Patrick Sandoval, who is 1-4 with the 6.33 ERA.
Yeah, that's a big loss for me.
Yeah. I think that's going to be one of those. Aaron Hicks is going to be on the mound kind of games for us. I think it's going to be one of those. If there's one thing I've learned about the Angels this year, Todd, is we don't lose. We lose.
Yeah. And I never thought, bro, that we would have, last year I think we joked about it. You saw 5 times the position player, maybe it was even more, 5 or 6 position players pitch, or we had that many times a position player had to pitch in a game because we had to quote unquote save our bullpen, or the game was way too out of hand. Bro, we're still in the first month and we've already thrown 2 position players. Is this going to be number 3?
Yeah, maybe at this point. When is Ron Washington going to go up there? Just throw BP up there, Ron.
He's like, I still got it.
All right. Do you ever think we'll get to see Trout pitch up there? I mean, we have to wait forever to see Pujols pitch for the Cardinals. You think we'll ever get to see Trout?
No, hell no. No, he's way too prideful, man. I mean, as it is right now, he's trying to figure things out, which looks like a no-brainer for all of us. It's easier said than done, obviously, but man, there's no way he's going to pitch. No way.
Yeah. We'll see.
I think you would see Taylor Ward before you'd see him.
That'd be kind of fun too.
Yep. Those big ears on the mound, trying to throw one down the middle. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I mean, 2 out of 3, the reverse Rally Chris special. I
agree. Reverse Rally Chris special.
So what else you got for the any final thoughts?
No, man, that's about it. I mean, this has already been one hell of a season.
Mm-hmm.
This has already been one hell of a season, my friend.
Yeah, because the first is what, on Wednesday, right?
Correct.
So we have a couple more games left to be played. There's a chance that, the team could be 10-20 at worst, or they could be 11-19. I think what was the records? Wasn't it 13-18 when you simulated the first month on the show?
I got to go back to that episode, but it was something like that. Yeah. And then they caught up a little bit near the All-Star break. And then,
yeah. So we were thinking,
freaking someone shot him out of the sky.
I know you were like, 13-18, that's a tough road, and then we were saying, if they could be 500 at the end of April, we'll take that. Yeah. Not going to happen.
They got really, like I said, on the game, they got really close around July, near the trade deadline. We were like, okay. And then, yeah.
Flamed out.
Yeah, that's tracking as of right now. So, I don't know, man. There's, like I said, it's tough because it's not even the wins and losses that are bothering me. It's the fact that they're just losing spectacularly every single time. I can deal with losses. Mm-hmm. I was an Arizona Coyotes fan in the middle of a rebuild. Yep. I don't mind my team losing 2-3, 3-1. And, the bases were loaded in the 9th inning. We just didn't come through. That's fine. What I don't like is getting cream pied. It just, oh, God, it's like missionary position every single night.
Yeah, nothing original, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, one last thing I want to bring up before we get out of here, because we're at that mark. But I don't know if you caught it in game 1. I was there. By the way, the Droid show was worth the price of admission. I will say that. Okay. But at the end, the Angels, I don't know if the Twins had pitched their bullpen guys. They were all tired as well. But there was a situation that threw me for a loop. They had first and third with 2 outs. You bring in a left-handed pitcher who just had given up a hit, and the Angels were down 5-3, and he's in there, and Mike Trout's up, and I looked over at Steve Lease, and I'm like, oh, they're going to walk Trout and pitch to Shonawell because Shonawell's next. batting second, and it's a lefty-lefty matchup, and this guy's got an 11 ERA. And to my surprise, they pitched to Trout. Is that to you telling you that the league is fully aware that this guy can't hit right now?
I mean, they're definitely challenging him, right?
Yep.
Can you blame him?
I can't, but it just shocked me because I was saying after it was over and he grounded out, by the way, on the second pitch, I looked over at her and I'm like, this would have never happened 3 seasons ago.
No.
Never.
No. But I mean, even Trout's kind of, a lot of people give us hate about like, oh, well, he's batting like 300 with runners in scoring position. Okay, well, that doesn't mean that at the end of the game, that's the guy you want batting. Don't get me wrong, because of his name alone. I mean, who else would you want batting instead of Trout with bases loaded at the end of a game? I mean, people used to make fun of me all the time because bases loaded at the end of a game, I always wanted Pujols up. And people would be like, oh, God, you're an idiot. But like Pujols wouldn't strike out in that situation. Yeah, he'd pop out of the outfield, but all you can ever do in this game is hit the ball. What happens after that? That's the beauty in the game, right? People get Pujols a hard time by grounding out into a double play all the time. But he always made contact.
Yeah.
So, and Trout, when he's, statue Trout up there, we used to call it Stassi, but Trout's been the same thing, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Swing the bat. You know what you're not going to do? Come through if you don't swing the bat. You know what? We can make fun of Trout all the time if you were to pop out with bases loaded at the end of the game. Okay, well, you know what? At least he hit the ball. You know what I mean? That's just how it is sometimes. Mm-hmm. When you and I went last year, remember when we ran to the suite against the Marlins? Didn't Trout pop out to end the game?
Correct. Yeah, he had a weak fly ball to right field.
Second base, I think.
Oh, second base. Yeah.
I think it was like between second and like center.
They had the game-winning runner in scoring position too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was Ohtani?
I think so.
Ohtani was batting behind Trout. We all wanted to get to Ohtani because,
Yeah.
Not that he's very clutch either, but.
Yeah, it just would have been epic because I think if that would have fallen, I think there was bases loaded, so you would have had 2 runs score, and then it would have been Ohtani for the win. But
yeah, exactly. Well,
didn't happen.
Because he's super clutch too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just as Dodger fans.
Thankfully, he's carried that over to LA. So
yeah, exactly. At least that's one thing.
Yeah. All right, so that's our show for today. If you like what you've seen, like what you heard, check us out on all our social media. It's above here on the screen, or if you don't know, just look up Halos in the Infield. If you're listening to this, and give a like and subscribe, or just leave a comment. It helps us out all in the long run. Also, you can share it with a friend. We always appreciate that as well. So for Todd Fox and
the Lone Star Halo,
we'll catch you on the flip side.